Hello, and welcome to Secrets in the Shadows. If you love gripping true crime stories, you're in the right place. Before we dive in, make sure to hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications so you never miss a chilling tale. In this video, we uncover the terrifying case of Robert Ben Rhoades, a man who turned his truck into a rolling torture chamber. Known as the truck stop killer, Rhoades preyed on vulnerable hitchhikers, subjecting them to unspeakable horrors. His crimes spanned across multiple states, leaving a trail of fear and unanswered questions. This video contains graphic content that may be too sensitive for some viewers. Viewer discretion is strongly advised. Robert Ben Rhoades was born on November 22nd, 1945, in Council Bluffs, Iowa. Raised primarily by his mother, he spent much of his early years without his father, who was stationed overseas as a soldier in the United States Army. When his father returned, he became a firefighter, but his presence in Rhoades' life was far from stable. Rhoades participated in several school activities, including football, wrestling, choir, and French club. However, his teenage years also saw the beginnings of his criminal behavior. He was arrested in 1961 at age 16 for tampering with a vehicle, and again in 1962 for public fighting. After graduating from Thomas Jefferson High School in Council Bluffs in 1964, Rhoades joined the Marine Corps. That same year, his father was arrested for molesting a 12-year-old girl and later committed suicide while awaiting trial. Rhoades' military career did not last long. He was dishonorably discharged for involvement in a robbery. After his discharge, he attempted college but dropped out and was rejected from law enforcement due to his dishonorable military record. He worked various jobs in stores, supermarkets, warehouses, and restaurants before eventually becoming a long-haul truck driver, a profession that provided him the mobility to commit crimes across multiple states. During the 1980s, Rhoades became deeply involved in the BDSM scene. His third wife, Deborah Rhoades, later revealed that he verbally, physically, and sexually abused her. Rhoades specifically chose vulnerable victims, hitchhikers, runaways, and sex workers. He looked for women who were alone, desperate, or had no one waiting for them. Truck stops and gas stations became his hunting grounds. Sometimes he offered rides to stranded women, appearing helpful before trapping them in his nightmare. Unlike many serial killers who acted impulsively, Rhoades took his time. He tortured victims for days or even weeks, documenting their suffering through photographs. His truck was converted into a mobile torture chamber, where he kept his victims chained up and subjected them to psychological and physical torment before ultimately killing them. One of his last known victims, 14-year-old Regina K. Walters, was forced to wear a black dress and pose for photos just before he killed her. The haunting images of her final moments were later found among Rhoades' belongings. Victims of Rhoades are Patricia Walsh and Douglas Ziskowski. The couple was hitchhiking from Seattle to Georgia in late 1989 when Rhoades picked them up. He killed Ziskowski immediately and dumped his body near Interstate 10 in Texas in January 1990. Patricia was kept alive for over a week, where she was tortured and raped before being murdered and dumped in Millard County, Utah. Her remains were found in October 1990, but she was only identified in 2003. Regina K. Walters and Ricky Lee Jones, Walters, 14, and her boyfriend, 18-year-old Ricky Jones, were last seen in February 1990. Rhoades killed Jones first and held Walters captive for weeks, cutting her hair, dressing her in a black dress and taking photographs before strangling her to death. Regina's body was found in an abandoned barn in Illinois. Shauna Holtz, 18 years old. Rhoades kidnapped her, but she miraculously escaped. However, she was so traumatized that she refused to press charges, fearing that no one would believe her. Many believe that dozens of other unsolved disappearances along Rhoades' truck routes may also be linked to him. Some investigators estimate his victim count is over 50. On April 1st, 1990, Arizona State Trooper Mike Miller was patrolling Interstate 10 near Casa Grande, Arizona, when he noticed a semi-truck parked on the side of the road with its emergency lights flashing. At first, it seemed like a routine stop, maybe a mechanical failure or a driver needing assistance. But when Trooper Miller peered inside the truck's sleeper cab, what he saw would stay with him forever. A nude, terrified woman was inside, chained up like an animal. Her mouth was gagged with a horse bit, her wrists and ankles shackled. As soon as she saw the officer, she started screaming for help. From the shadows of the truck, a man emerged, calm, collected, and unbothered by the horrific scene behind him. "It's okay, officer," Rhoades said smoothly. "We're consenting adults." But Trooper Miller wasn't fooled. He immediately handcuffed Rhoades and placed him into his patrol car. As Miller prepared to transport Rhoades, he noticed something chilling. Rhoades had managed to slip his handcuffs to the front and was trying to escape. If Miller had waited even one more minute, the sadistic killer could have fled the scene. That arrest was the beginning of the end for Robert Ben Rhoades. In 1994, Rhoades was convicted of first-degree murder for Regina K. Walters' death and sentenced to life without parole at Menard Correctional Center in Illinois. In 2005, he was extradited to Utah to stand trial for the murders of Patricia Walsh and Douglas Ziskowski, but at their family's request, the charges were dropped to spare them from testifying again. In 2012, he pleaded guilty in Texas to the murders of Walters and Jones, receiving a second life sentence. Rhoades is now locked away forever at Menard Correctional Center in Illinois. He will never walk free again, but the scars he left behind remain. Authorities believe that Rhoades could be responsible for up to 50 murders across the United States, though the true number may never be known. Only Robert Ben Rhoades knows how many lives he truly took, and he's taking those secrets to his grave. In August 2022, Rhoades filed a civil rights lawsuit against Illinois Department of Corrections officials, alleging violations related to his confinement. However, the court dismissed his complaint in October 2022, though he was given the opportunity to amend and refile it. Despite continued investigations into other potential crimes, no new charges have been filed against Rhoades. Authorities still suspect his involvement in numerous unsolved disappearances along his trucking routes. Investigators believe he could be responsible for more than 50 murders, but Rhoades has never confessed to additional crimes and remains silent about other potential victims. Rhoades is now locked away forever at Menard Correctional Center in Illinois. He will never walk free again, but the scars he left behind remain. Thank you for watching. If you found this story compelling, make sure to like, share, and subscribe to the channel for more deep dives into true crime cases. Until next time, stay safe and be aware of the world around you. My name is Charlotte, and I'll see you in the next video.